Okay, this video goes out to you concrete guys and engineers about stirrup system. It's a tree. There's a tree, right? It's coming down, crane pretty soon, guys. Maybe tomorrow even. I forget my damn schedule on that. But I want to show you this tree. This is a maple. So beautiful maple. But it was dying up top. Now, here's the center of this branch structure coming off of here, this side here. So there's a tree standing up. This has an angle to it. It's not in line. This one's, see how that's in line? It's in line with this one. In line. So in line, I can, without even cutting the tree, I can say if it's in line, straight plumb, if you will, that I'm going to find the center of the tree in the center, being in line. The neutral axis, if you will. Here's a piece that I cut away. So shout out to Tears. Now this is the center and her mother. It's pretty much the center. As you can see, the distance is around the edge there. I'll put my thumb there. It's pretty much the center. Look at that. Pretty much the center. All right, a little carve there. And now the growth rings. You guys say the tree is so many ages, but you can count the ages of the tree by the growth rings. Well, this is a split branch, isn't it? So what do I add? Do I add the two together? I know this tree to be about 50 years old, approximately. So do I count 50? All right, do I count 50 rings here? But what I want you to look at is here's the center. And now all of a sudden, it's no longer the center there. Look. Let's flip that around. Let's do that again. Something about the center there to the bark and here. So let's mark. Mark. Let me check that again. Yeah, I can just do that now. Mark. 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 So now what I want you to learn is that let's do this now, that this would be the center from that point there, roughly. Okay, let's do that. So that's the center. Why is it eccentric? Why is it off like that? Because the Creator, and you guys can be upset if you don't like God. I never say God is nice, right? But we all know creators are. When you say Creator, you're talking about God, right? G-O-D. Yeah, what initials for God stand for? Anyway, gravity, gravity, density. What's the O stand for? Anyway, you guys know I'm not a gravity person. So this wasn't created. This was the torque. It was created on this branch coming out at a center line of this tree, right? It built, the Creator, this tree, so brilliant, it could feel the stresses, and the stress feedback was said, hey, we have to build up this part of our body, of the limb, to make it stronger to be able to take the stress it's going to have on an angle. So if I were to cut those trees, for example, that one there, I would see that the center is where it's going off like that. Right about there should be a center that's not center. And the middle ones should all be centered, but all the ones on an angle should have this offset, right? They'll be offset like this. I'm trolling some of you, I guess, because you think believing in God is a bad thing. It's just saying that you believe in science, if you will, real science, meaning that not some fake stuff that this is just. Okay, real science should already told you what this really means, this center part, right? But the real science doesn't care about this. These are stirrup systems. This is moisture. It's wet. It helps it elongate, be elastic. And they're about symmetrical as it grows. And you can see how at some point it did that little wave in here. See the wave pattern in here like this? And that wave pattern will be out here. And it's growing outwards, right? Stretching beautifully, building bark, and sometimes it can stretch, and you start getting cracks in the bark. You start getting cracks there, and you got a dry tree at that point. It's getting much drier when you start seeing the cracks and fracture. It's no longer can do it. and it's trying to build up, but it can't. There's a scarring, and you know, maybe it's scarring there, maybe it's something else. But again, here we have. I'd have to cut it apart to give you an exact idea, but it's now the bark. It's lost its bark. So there's the bark. You can see where it's very thin here, right? Very thin right there. And it's thin over here, so you can expect that could do the same thing here, blister through. Thicker here. So this would allow for what? If I was thinking of this tree as a creator, this is going to allow for more expansion because it's got a lot more material inside here to expand. So I think this tree wants to expand, and if I was imagining it wanting to grow, that it's maxed out here. See how the wave, it comes out, and the wave, and the wave, and then it stops? Now I'd expect this tree to now fill this out, to stretch this, elongate this bark here, then this section, and so on, but not here. It's kind of thin. And no longer here, it's thin. So that this will allow for expansion, the extra bark to expand, but not here. Okay, not there. There's nothing there. That would expose the tree, the growth side of it, and of course the bark is not dead. No matter what, it's not dead. It's not flaking off. You can see right here. Now the bark is going to get the most flexural. Well, some of the most flexural being on the outside. It's got to do compression and tension as it waves. Right, as the tree waves, that bark has got to expand and contract. Hence, take a note the grooves on it. That one can do a lot more expansion and contraction. It's got deep grooves on it, very deep grooves. I don't know if I can zoom in and show you. Oh yeah, very deep grooves. See them? And that gets a lot of wind action, a lot of movement. This one is more stable. It's a very light bark, you know, the depth-wise. It's not going to expand, wave as much as in the wind. So this engineering the bark, reverse engineering the bark, and the creator in this beautiful piece of material here is the eccentric, again, is because you know, you stand this tree back up. This is more plumb with the tree right in the background. That's the stump, if you will, or what's left. And then this one goes off leaning like that. So to help it lean, with its lean, it builds material. So I took some liberty here. I put a circle and an arrow. And on this one, I put a circle and an arrow. So they would match up like this. Hold on, guys. So they would match up like that. Okay? So as I flip it back around and look at it, you see that, this part is going to be more, as it leans away, the tension side. It's going to be holding it like a fishing rod. So this side, it needs a lot more material than on this side where it's in compression. So this would be the tension side. This should be your compression side of your tree. And as you can see, some of the gradations as it builds up and tapers back down. Look at it. See it? Up. And then back down. This being the neutral axis, everything here. Right, neutral axis. And then this is being the extra tension support they added to it. The strong back. So nature didn't say, let's make the underside stronger and put in compression. It said, no, let's make the top side stronger, tension side. Let's add more material, and we'll handle the load in tension rather than in compression.